Arlington has won the Super 8 Massachusetts State Championship.
Okay, greetings Arlington sports fans. This is Sam Kafrissen reporting from the pit at Arlington High School. This is the opening match of the 2018-2019 Arlington High wrestling season. Captains out front right now, taking coin flip. On the left is David Lopes. On the right is Yanni Ketriotis. Both boys are juniors. Kind of unusual to have junior captains, but both of them were outstanding performers last year. The match is going to open tonight at 182 pounds. In the old days, they used to open at the lowest weight class and simply work up to the heavyweight, but now the coaches pick a weight class before the match, and that's where they open, and the weight class was 182 pounds, which starts the match at a much higher weight than the 106 it used to start in previous times. I can tell you right away that according to the weigh-ins before the match that Reading will have a number of forfeits on the board, which of course works to Arlington's advantage because Arlington has a full lineup. As a result, each one of those forfeits awards the team with a wrestler 6 points, so it's tantamount to getting a pin without actually having to wrestle. One of the things that's distinguished the Arlington wrestling team over the years is that they've been able to fill the lineup, and that makes a really big difference because there are quite a few teams these days that are kind of thin in terms of their lineup. And the problem with a sport like wrestling is there are 14 weight classes, so you may have 20, 25 boys on the team, but if you don't have one to fit each one of those weight classes, you have to forfeit. You can move a boy from one weight up one weight class above that, but you can't move him any further up, and obviously you can't move him down a weight class. And every one of the wrestlers will weigh in prior to the match, and if they don't make weight, then the only thing they can do is wrestle at a weight class that's one step up or not at all. Right now the referee is just checking out the lineup, and we'll be getting started momentarily. Arlington opened its season a week and a half ago at Marlboro and lost two really tough matches, one to Marlboro High School and the other to Haverhill. The Haverhill team looks like it's going to be one of the better teams in the state this year. Had a lot of returning wrestlers from last year. But, you know, Arlington's a very young team right now. Quite a few boys in the lineup are freshmen, sophomores. There's only one senior in tonight's lineup. So it's going to be kind of a trying year for the Ponders, but the hopes of the coaches is that if everybody sticks around in the years to come, they're going to have quite a good team. And as I mentioned at the outset, two captains are juniors, which I think is an indication of just how young this team is. Unfortunately, we have somebody blocking our view right now. Matches begin with each boy in each weight class checking in at the table. David Lopes has stepped out at 182 pounds for Arlington. By all indications, it looks like Reading does not have a wrestler, so Arlington will take a forfeit here and immediately go up 6-0 in the team score. We'll now go to 195 pounds. The Arlington wrestlers, Nate Palkris. Nate's a sophomore. He's actually a 82-pound wrestler, but he's being bumped up to 195 as Lopes is being bumped up. So it's going to be a tough match for Nate. His opponent is Trevian Atala. Trevian was a wrestler last year. He's a pretty good wrestler, so Nate's going to have his hands filled. The wrestlers start out in the neutral position. Score is 0-0, but if one boy takes the other boy to the mat, then the person who has taken his opponent down scores 2 points, and that's called a takedown. Right now they're just in a collar tie looking, and Reading wrestler Atala has taken Palkris down right there, so he now has a 2-0 lead. What he's trying to do now when he's on top is actually put his opponent on his back. He can either score a pin by putting him on his back if he can hold him for 3 seconds, and if he holds him for less time, he can actually get points. He can get 2 or 3 depending on how long he holds him down. Once 4 appendages, in that case 4 legs, 2 from each boy, went outside the circle, they bring him back and start again. Poker's trying to get to his feet, trying to get a single escape point, but his opponent seems to be dominating this match. Not surprisingly, Nate's wrestling about 12 pounds above his natural weight. There are 3 ways to win pin, which can accrue 6 points for a boy's team. It's a minor decision, which is 3 points, and a major decision, which is 4. A major decision requires a margin of 13 points or more, or a technical fall, which is 15 points. The match is stopped, and the winner would get 5 points. But right there, Atala has pinned Pokerus and scored 6 points for his team, so the score is now tied. Okay, the next match will match Vincent Sullivan of Reading, weighed in at 206 pounds, and he'll be wrestling against Mike Peserides. Peserides is a sophomore, only wrestled for a couple of weeks last year at the end of the season. He's going to probably be pretty overmatched here, but we'll see. Sullivan in for a quick takedown. Peserides trying to provide a defense. Now the boy on top has to be working to try to turn his opponent. He can't just sit on top. And if he does, the referee will call him for stalling. You get a warning, and then points get awarded. Too many stalling calls and you can be disqualified. Boy on the bottom has to be trying to work to escape or to reverse the situation. He can't just lie there. So this is going to be a problem for Peserides because his skills level isn't up to most varsity wrestlers at this point in his career. But he's doing a nice job of trying to swim out of those wrist controls. Sullivan trying to open him up, hopefully get a half Nelson or something he can turn him over with. If Peserides stays in this position, he will get warned for stalling if he's not trying to improve his condition. He really needs to work his back end up and try to get on his feet, because right now he's just letting Sullivan dominate him without actually putting any kind of holds on. Right now the score is 2-0 in favor of the Reading wrestler. We're early in the first period. Well, actually probably about 3/4 way through the first period, early in the match. And you'll see all 4 points go out. The referee calls them back to the center. Now this is where Peserides, if he really wants to score, has to move quickly, because once he's flattened out, he's in a bad situation. And he is flattened out. Arlington has actually a few boys in this weight class, including their heavyweight, Charles Gillis, who only weighs about 215 pounds, but he could wrestle 220 or he could wrestle heavyweight. That's the end of the first period, by the way. The Reading wrestler has a choice here. He's chosen bottom. Now the situation is reversed. Peserides has to try to control his opponent. His opponent going to get to his feet. That was kind of a nice return. Looking to get some kind of spiral ride in here, maybe an ankle hold. Now he's looking perhaps at sort of cradle. Problem, he's got him right leg out front, and Sullivan can hip into that and reverse the situation. That's exactly what he did there. So now Sullivan has a 4-0 lead. Once again, we're early in the second period. There are 3 periods, 2-minute periods. The match will only stop if someone's pinned or as a result of a technical fall, which, as I said earlier, is a 15-point margin. Otherwise, the match will go 6 minutes of running time. May not seem like long, but when you're out there, it could be the longest 6 minutes of your life. Especially since the referees expect continuous action throughout. Once again, the Arlington wrestler is not working hard enough to improve his position, and the referee has warned him for stalling. For his part, the Reading wrestler has to step outside. He just did. If he just rides on top, that would be stalling, but by stepping out, he's indicating to the referee that he's making an attempt to turn his opponent. Pesarides has already been warned for stalling. If he's hit with a stalling call again, the first it'll be a point. Kind of a match without a lot of action going on. Things will improve considerably as we get to the lower weights, sometimes the upper weights. It's just a minimum amount of skills that can be enforced here. And that's the end of the second period, so Sullivan maintains a 4-0 lead. If he comes away with a 3-point, with a minor decision here, it'll be 3 points for his team, and that will put Reading on top. All right. Pesarides trying to make his first move, but now he's been flattened out. Now the Reading wrestler is letting him up, so that's 1 point for Arlington. Yes, it's 1 point for Arlington, so the score is 4-1, but I think what the Reading wrestler is looking for is perhaps a throw, a takedown to a pinning position. He's trying for that dump. All right, he's got a single. Pesarides makes a very nice move. Very nice defensive move. He scores 2 points, and that makes it a much closer match. It's now 4-3. Pesarides having trouble on top, and he should have just let his opponent go. He did not have the opportunity to maintain a good throw there to bring his opponent back. He just kind of lost 2 points there, so that'll make it 6-3. I think it'll be a moral victory and certainly a strategic victory for Arlington if he can keep this to a minor decision. He hasn't had much varsity experience, so this is a relatively good performance. I'm sure his coach would like to have seen more action on his part from the bottom position, the position he's in now. Sullivan doesn't seem to be doing much, just rolling some wrists, not really. He could try to power up a half Nelson here, but he seems content to just ride it out. In a close meet, this minor decision, as opposed to pin, could mean all the difference in the world. I think that's the end of the match. Yes, it is. No, it is not. Okay. I think he just stopped the match for lack of action. Over the years, Arlington and Reading have had a number of barn-burning dual meets that have come down to the last match, but I think with Reading's thin lineup, if Arlington gets some early victories, I think they should be able to edge Reading tonight. There's at least 3 and possibly 4 forfeits on the board. That's the end of the match. That's a minor decision for Reading, and that will be put them up in the team score at 9-6. Now we turn to the heavyweight, or what is technically the 285-pound category. 285 is the maximum weight. Reading wrestler is Ben Mason. He weighed in at 233 pounds, and Charles Gillis, the Arlington wrestler, weighs about 210. Gillis was a sectional place winner last year at heavyweight. He prefers the heavyweight class, even though he sometimes giving up as many as 50 pounds. That was a nice shot by Mason. Nice low double. Gillis turned him on his back, though. Gillis is a pin machine, so Mason's going to have trouble here. He's got him on his back, and with the heavyweights, it's hard to bridge. It's hard to get out of that situation, and there's a pin. So Charles Gillis scores a nice early first period pin, and that puts his team up 12-9. That's Gillis's third victory of the young season. He hasn't been defeated yet. He's got 2 at heavyweight and 1 at 220 pounds. Charles is a very, very strong young man. Okay, now we're going to turn the corner from the heavyweights to the 106 weight class. So these are the smallest boys on the team. Arlington's wrestler is a freshman, Glenn Doyle. It looks as if Reading does not have a wrestler in this weight class. So Arlington will take its second forfeit. That's Glenn Doyle. It's the second win this season by forfeit for the young wrestler, and that puts his team up 18-9. Okay, we're now going to go to the 113-pound weight class. The Arlington wrestler will be Noe Romero. Noe is a junior. This is his second year wrestling. Spent most of last season wrestling in the JV category. And the Reading wrestler is Patrick Keenan, who is the younger brother of Tyler Keenan, who we'll see a little bit later on. I have no idea how much experience Keenan has. He may be a freshman, but he looks like somebody who knows his way around the mat. Last year, Chan Kim wrestled this weight class for Arlington. He's on the shelf right now, but we'll see him later in the season at 120. So Romero will probably be the 113-pounder for Arlington for most of the season. Did a lot of off-season wrestling, really improved his skills from last year. He's gotten a lot stronger, which is helpful in the sport, to say the least. Right now the wrestlers feeling each other out. You can see there's a lot more movement in the lower weight classes than higher up. Nice double leg attack by Romero. Gives him a 2-point takedown, a 2-point advantage. Trying to get an arm bar in there. Keenan looks like kind of a rubbery character. Now he's trying to run over the arm bar. If he can break that 90-degree plane, he'll get some back points. Not able to, but he still has that bar in pretty good. Now he's got it. He has to sit through or get his body. All right, now he's got some back points. Let's see. Referee's counting. Once he counts 3, there's going to be back points. All right, he's got back points now. Let's see if he got 2 or 3. Looks like he got 3 back points. So he now has a 5-0 lead. Looking for a cradle here. Cradle's usually a finishing pin position. Trying to get those hands locked and then pull the boy back towards you and onto his back. Keenan does a nice job of breaking the lock there. Early in the matches, we're only in the 4th match here, or 5th match, counting the forfeits. You want to try to get as many pins as you can because you never know what's going to happen down the line. Okay, that's the end of the first period. When it comes to the second period, they alternate choices by team, and a wrestler can choose the top position, which Keenan has, the bottom position, or neutral position, or they can choose to defer, which means that they'll just defer their choice to the next period. Now, this should work to Romero's advantage. If he scores here, he'll have a pretty substantial lead. Keenan looking for a corkscrew. Romero is moving out of it. Reading wrestlers like to do a lot of wrist riding, but now he's looking for a cradle. With a 5-0 deficit, Keenan really has to turn Romero over to really bring this match closer. Otherwise, I don't see him being able to pull out victory without a pin now. All right, Romero's got that leg, trying to, if he can stay up on his knees, step up with that, he can reverse the situation. Let's see. Still, if Romero gets up here, he's going to get 1 point for escape. They're gonna rule that Keenan's loss of control. No, he gets a reversal. So that'll give him a 7-0 lead. Unless he does something disastrous and gets thrown on his back, this is a pretty insurmountable lead. Now Romero is working really hard to get a turn. He's working really hard for that pin. Be interesting to see what happens third period. It'll be Arlington's choice. I have a suspicion that Arlington coach Kevin Cummings will instruct Romero to take the top position and hopefully get a pin. Score stands at 18-9, Arlington's favor. Okay, we go to third period. It's Arlington's choice. See what Romero decides. He's going to go top. He's going to go for the pin. He's got a nice 7-0 lead. If he gets 1 or 2 more points, which is entirely possible, he would have a major decision, a 4-point decision rather than 3 points. I think he and his coaches would like to have him get a pin here, but it's third period. Sometimes the wrestlers get a little bit tired, and pinning is not as easy as it might have been earlier on. Or alternatively, if one wrestler gets tired and the other doesn't, that's often when pins are scored. Okay. I think what the Arlington coach is probably going to instruct Romero to do is try maybe another 10 or 15 seconds for the pin. If not, put him on his feet and see if he can get a takedown and still get that 8-point advantage. A nice cross wrist there. He's working hard to get a turn, but so far unsuccessful. Now he's working on that cradle. Unfortunately, he's in a tough position because if he comes over to the top like he just did and takes Keenan back, they're going to be out of bounds. And that's exactly, looks like that's exactly what's happened. Nice cradle, possible pin there, but pulled him out of bounds. I think with a minute left, a little less than a minute left, they're going to give Romero one more shot at getting a turn and then have him cut his man loose and go for that takedown and get the 8-point decision. A nice arm bar in there, but as earlier, he had trouble turning it over. You can hear the Arlington coaches trying to get Romero to let his man go now. They're pretty sure he could get a takedown, but he's looking for that pin. He's got a strong cradle in there. He just can't seem to turn it over. Now he's on the wrong side. He can either roll it through or step up and pull it back, but let's see what's going to happen here. Right now, it looks like Keenan almost had a reversal. Romero holding on. Let's see. Kind of a crazy scramble, but So far, no points were awarded. It looked like Keenan might have gotten enough that Romero had lost control. That's the end of the match. There we go. So Noe Romero scores a 7-0 pin. 7-0 win, does not get the pin, but and does not get the major decision. But I think a pretty dominant match, nevertheless. Now we turn our attention to the 120 pound weight class. Wrestling for Arlington is Zach Zimmerman. Zach is a freshman. He's only been wrestling for 2 weeks. His opponent is Ryan Boudreau, who is a returning wrestler for Reading. This could be a very tough match for Zach. Zach's also a small 120. You can see the differentiation between the body types of the two wrestlers. Zach has a lot of promise, but it's tough to substitute experience in the sport. Experience counts. So there he had a nice shot with one arm, but he was not able to bring his other arm into play. If he wants to go for a leg attack, he's got to get both hands on the leg. He's got 2 down. Nice takedown, looks like. Walking up the back. 2. Nice. That was a nice move. Unable to keep his opponent down, so gives up an escape. Now it's 2-1. We're about halfway through the first period. Referee's kind of blocking the view of the camera. Unfortunately, unlike network TV, we don't have 2 cameras. All right, there's a single leg attack by Boudreau. No points awarded yet. There, as soon as he covers the hips, as soon as Boudreau came up the leg and covered the hips, he got the 2 points. So it's 3-2 at this stage. There's a half Nelson thrown in. That's the kind of thing that, with a little more experience, Zach would have known to defend against that right from the outset. Boudreau, and that's the end of the first period. He got 2 more back points, so he has a pretty commanding lead right now. So Arlington's choice, they choose to defer. Now we're going neutral. So the boys shake hands. They don't really have to do that. They only do that at the beginning of the match and at the end of the match. Shows a little inexperience on both parts. Zach wants to get back into this match. He's going to have to go for a leg attack. Seems to be the strong point. There's a nice attack, lift. Now, once again, he's got to climb up the back, cover those hips. Hasn't got it yet. Boudreau's looking for the stalemate. If he can get his hips back up, he can ward that off. He does. So that was kind of a good leg attack, but it didn't really, Zimmerman wasn't able to cash in on it. Now the wrestlers have stopped seemingly for no reason. No whistle was blown or anything. They just kind of stopped, went into brain lock for a second. I think that gave Zimmerman a point because Boudreau was on top at the time. It was a nice shot again, but he's got to get up off his knees. Nice counter by Boudreau. He's going to spin around, gather in 2 more points. Zimmerman's trying to clam up there, but if you do maintain that position for too long, the referee will call you for stalling. You have to be engaged in the match. You can't just lie there and say, all right, there's the stalling warning by the referee. You can't just stay there and decide you're not going to lose. Boudreau trying to ride that cross wrist, get a turn. That's the end of the period. So we go to the third period. I think Arlington's choice now. No, it's Reading's choice. So wisely, Boudreau is going to take the bottom position. He's got a nice lead. Okay, Arlington. Now what Arlington's done here is they've elected to just let Boudreau come back to his feet without contesting it. So basically, he gets another 1 point. I think the feeling among the Arlington coaches is that Zimmerman's lack of experience on top could really hurt him, give Boudreau a reversal, whereas Zach has been pretty efficient on his feet. So if he can get another takedown, maybe take his opponent to his back, he can climb right back into this match. He's got to pick up the action though right here. He's way behind and he just can't waste time. There's a single, but once again, he's got one hand on the head, one hand on the leg when he really needs both hands on the leg. Boudreau looking for a head and arm throw. And he's got 2 points. He's got the takedown. A little bit sloppy, but it worked. Boudreau's up 11-2. Zach escapes as Zimmerman now brings it a little bit closer, 11-3. If he scores again, he'll take a major decision away. Boudreau has a major decision with that 8-point differential if he can hold that lead. If Zimmerman scores again, that'll be removed. I think Zimmerman really needs to go for the takedown here, if for no other reason to take that major decision off the board. If he doesn't get it, it won't matter. The edge of the mat. What's the call? Okay, so we got, nope, they're still neutral. Time's running out. Zimmerman really needs to go and get that takedown if he can get it. Boudreau very carefully preserving his lead. Zimmerman with a nice shot. Now he's crawled up the back. Now he's got 2, maybe even more. See if he gets back points. He's going to get back points too. And that's the end of the match. Nice move by Zach Zimmerman, freshman Zach Zimmerman. He gets those points. He gets some back points. He takes away the major decision. And keeps it to a minor. That could be very, very important later on down the line. The gutsy move on his part, not only getting that takedown, but getting his opponent to his back. Okay, we are moving to the 126-pound weight class. I don't believe Reading has a wrestler at this weight. Eamon Madden, this is his first appearance of the season. He's been on the shelf with some injuries. He'll go out, take the forfeit, and that will make the team score 27-12 in favor of Arlington. So with these points mounting up on forfeits and Reading being unable to score pins, the margin is getting wider. Right now Arlington has a 15-point lead. Now we go to 132 pounds. The Arlington wrestler is Taisei Akatsu, and the Reading wrestler is Dana Isabel. Katsu is a senior. He's the only senior in the lineup. Been with the team for 4 years. Wrestled at 126 last year. Has moved up a weight class. Nice head and arm throw. Really, he gets rolled off it. That's the danger of that throw. Now he comes back. Nice counter. Good hip movement. Good control. There's a nice flurry in there. He gets only 2 points, but He could have gotten into a lot more trouble, but on the other hand, he made a nice counter off that roll through. Now he's looking for a cradle, looking for that far side cradle. Cradles often aren't available early in the mat, but his opponent has given it to him. Nice jump through. He could score a pin here. He does score a pin. Really nice work by Taisei Akatsu. His second win of the season, second pin of the season. And that will increase Arlington's margin to 33-12. We now come to probably one of the better matches of the night. The Reading wrestlers, Jackson Greeno has been a 4-year varsity wrestler for Reading, and Arlington captain junior Yanni Ketriotis. Greeno comes with a really nice shot, but nice defense by Ketriotis. Now he comes with a shot of its own. Quite a bit of action there, right in the first 20 seconds of the match. These are two well-schooled wrestlers. Ketriotis has done a lot of off-season wrestling, so he's really improved enormously. Only moving up one weight class. Nice hip throw. Greeno trying to bridge out of it. Ketriotis knows how to finish these. Lifting the head, he scores a pin. That was wonderful wrestling right there. So that's another fall. Now that stretches Arlington's lead to 39-12. Once they pass they reach the 42-point mark, the worst they can do is tie. If they exceed it, then they have effectively won the match. Okay, at 145 pounds now for Reading is Keegan Coulter, and for Arlington is Connor McGahan. McGahan is a sophomore. He's gained a lot of off-season experience. He's been with the program for 2 years, but wrestled with the Ottoson program before that. He's a very scrappy wrestler. Gets into a lot of scrambles. Sometimes he comes out on top, sometimes not so much. Interesting difference in body type here. McGahan built kind of close to the ground. His opponent a little more long and lean. He's got a nice front headlock there. See if he can score off it. Probably should reach for that near ankle and try to pull himself around. There he goes. Let's see if he can make this happen. He's got to keep moving. There he goes. So that's 2 points for Connor. Now got a 2-0 lead. Nice early flurry as well. As you can see, a lot more action in these lower weights. We're now around the middle of the lineup. Okay, no loss of control, so it's still a 2-0 margin. I think Coulter was hoping he had gotten 1 point, but he did not. This is the kind of scramble that has gotten McGahan in trouble early in the season, and he loses the reversal there, so Coulter is not at the match at 2 apiece. Now Coulter's looking for a cradle. With sort of the squat little body that McGahan has, he has to be careful when he comes up, because if his leg's too close to his arm, he can get cradled, and that's exactly what's happening here. Fortunately, the wrestlers are out of bounds. There's advantages and disadvantages of this body type. When I wrestled in high school, I wrestled in the middle of the lineup like this, and you see him long and lean and short and muscular and everything in between. Now McGahan's looking for the cradle. He's got something going here. Kind of an odd situation, but he's going to get back points. I think he's going to get, no, he's not. Nope. did not break the plane, and Coulter gets another reversal. Like I said at the outset, McGann gets in these scrambles, and sometimes he comes out on top, and sometimes not. All right, he's got that inside leg. See if he can reverse the situation. Nope, he's going to give it up. Coulter, long and lean, wisely working for the cradle. Perfect move for someone with his body type and wingspan. McGann's got to break that lock while he's facing the mat. I'd say Coulter's in a lot of trouble right here. If McGann grabs his head like he just did, he's not only going to get a reversal, he's going to get some back points, possibly even a fall. The referee's looking. It's kind of an odd position, but it's working. He's got the fall. So McGann gets his first win of the season. He gets his first varsity pin. Nice job. That will put the score at 45-12, and that effectively has sealed the win for Arlington. Although we have 2, possibly 3 matches left. We'll now go to 152 pounds. The Arlington wrestler is Henri Chouette, and he's wrestling Tyler Keenan. Keenan has been around for Reading for quite a while. He's the older brother of the boy we saw at 113 pounds. If I remember correctly, I think Keenan was a sectional place winner last year. Yes, he was at 145 pounds. He was a sectional place winner at the D2 Northern section, captain of the Reading team. 4-year wrestler. Chouette is in his second year. He's a sophomore. Shows a lot of promise. Has done some off-season wrestling. Picked up some new skills in the process. Arlington has a lot of talent right through the middle of the lineup, all of whom are underclassmen. And a shot by Keenan. Nice response by Chouette. Now he makes his own shot. Got to get off his knees, though. He's not going to finish that from his knees. That's a problem. You get in there in that knee position, you have to come up at least with one leg up to finish. All right. No score yet. A lot of action. Both these wrestlers have come to wrestle. As I mentioned a moment ago, Arlington has already effectively won the meet by by scoring 45 points. They lead 45-12. They could lose all the rest of the matches and still have won the meet. It's kind of an unusual situation. Usually the Arlington Reading matches have been barn burners, but this night it's been all ponders. Those forfeits really helped out. There's another one on the board, but it's in the last match. I would not be surprised if Coach Cummings just elected not to take it. Reading seems to be very, very thin in terms of personnel this year, which is kind of unusual for them. I can remember years when Reading would have 35 kids in a wrestling ring. I have to say that Chouette is putting up quite a nice fight here against a far more experienced wrestler. Okay, they're going to go neutral in the second period, so we stay 0-0. Somebody's going to get a takedown here. I have to say, I would have expected Keenan to be a lot more aggressive here. Maybe with the team victory out of reach, he's playing it slow. Okay, action continuing. Nice defense being put up by Chouette here. We're almost halfway through the second period. Nobody's scored yet. I would say, if nothing else, this is a moral victory for the Arlington sophomore. Certainly is going to give him confidence going forward. Not backing away, looking to get right into this match. Nice underhook, head throw. Oh. Nice head and arm throw off that underhook. So Chouette's in a bit of trouble here. It's going to be at least a 5-point move. Nice reversal there. Nice reversal. Wow. We could go 5-5 here. Keenan definitely would get 5 points. Now they're scrambling again. Got to keep his hips down. Chouette's got to keep his hips down, otherwise he's going to lose this. He's got to come back with it. Come back and settle his hips. I don't think he really knows quite what to do with this move. He's going to get reversed here, but that was a nice flurry by both wrestlers. Either one could have scored a pin in that scramble there. Keenan got a takedown. Got 3 back points, got that 5-point move, and then Chouette reversed it. Got 2 for the reversal and 3 for the back. Should be 5-5. I don't know what the dispute is here. You may have noticed that Chouette took his mouthpiece out. Mouthpiece is not mandatory in wrestling unless one of the wrestlers has braces. All right, we're going into third period now, and Keenan's taking the bottom position. Chouette's being warned he didn't have his hand on the elbow. Keenan's trying to get that inside control. Nice lift, nice return. Another nice return. See what Chouette's working for. Now he's trying to roll up the knuckles, maybe open up the half Nelson. He's got a half Nelson on this side. He's got it. He's got to get off the hips if he wants to run that over. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to score it. Keenan's blocking off the half Nelson. Chouette's being a little bit unorthodox with his hips, a little bit careless there. And there's a roll through reversal. Nice move by Keenan. Chouette's got to keep his head up. That half is coming in. Did not defend against it, and it's going to cost him. Could be 5, could be 3, or it could be the pin. It's the pin. So despite putting up a courageous challenge, Henri Chouette gets pinned in the third period and what ostensibly was a close match up to that point. That brings Reading up to 18, so the team score stands at 45-18. And the next match is at 160 pounds. This is going to be the battle of the Joshes. The Reading wrestler is Josh Galvin, a returning wrestler from last year, and the Arlington wrestler is Josh Garner, a freshman. So Galvin trying to establish himself with a little angry aggression here early on. Gardner's wrestled 2 matches. He won 1 match against Marlborough by a pin, came back from a deficit to win by pin, and then lost by a fall in the Haverhill match. And again, most of the Arlington wrestlers lost by falls against Haverhill. A lot of preseason predictions put Haverhill in the one of the top 10 teams this year. They had a lot of returning wrestlers from last season. For Arlington, I think this will be more of a transition year, although it could do well in the Middlesex Liberty League. Nice takedown there by Galvin. Another big lift. Referee's trying to be scrupulous about this because if the lift is too high and the return is too violent, it will be a slam, and that will be a warning. That's a warning against Reading, a stalling warning, because when Gardner got to his feet, the Reading wrestler just ran him out of bounds, almost ran him into that brick wall in the pit. I would say Galvin's kind of beating up on the Arlington wrestler right about now. He's got a nice cradle move in there. Of course, everything's moot at this point because Arlington already won the match. Got a nice stretched out cradle there. Trying to hook the far leg. I have a feeling this will be the last match of the night because Reading does not have a 170-pounder. Arlington does, but they won't need the forfeit and probably won't take it. I think Gardner's getting a little bit beat up here. I think right now what you've got is stronger upper class boy wrestling a freshman boy. Gardner's pretty strong, but I just don't think he's quite ready for this level yet. Mostly what Arlington's probably concerned about is that he does not get hurt. All right, Gardner staying in it, going right after his opponent. He's game. Nice flurry, nice flurry. Looked like Galvin was going to get a takedown, possibly backs, and Gardner rolled him through it. So that was a nice scramble. Okay, Arlington's choice. They're going to go neutral. That is a slam. That is a slam. Referee stopped the match. He's going to give a point to Arlington. That is a slam. The rule says that the offensive wrestler must escort his opponent safely to the mat. That was not a safe escort. You see a lot of action like that in wrestling, and sometimes it's really up to the referee's discretion. But I think it's better to err on the side of caution so that the boy doesn't get an injury that could ostensibly put him out for the season. I like to think of wrestling as a contact sport, but not a collision sport, unlike, say, football or hockey. So the injuries are usually of the maybe a shoulder, or elbow, muscle pull, knee, but you seldom see concussions, and you seldom see the kind of serious injuries that you do in those collision sports. Okay. Galvin got 2 back points there. pretty much dominating this match, and now he's got Gardner on his back. So it looks like Galvin is going to win the battle of the Joshes. Gardner putting up a good fight here, but yeah, he's got a point. Galvin got 3 back points, but Gardner got 1 escape point. Galvin chooses bottom. It looked like Gardner locked up around the body. You cannot do that if you lock your hands, even if you touch your hands across each other. It's a 1-point penalty. Gardner's in trouble here. He probably should just let him go. Well, he makes a pretty good return, and he unlocked that time, so he did the right thing. It's interesting that in this kind of wrestling, which is called folk style wrestling, you can't lock around the body, whereas in freestyle wrestling, which you would see in the Olympics and international competition, there's a move that wrestlers make where they lock around the body. It's called a gut wrench, and they actually roll their opponents over and get pins with it. So different forms of wrestling, basically 3 different forms: folk style, freestyle, and Greco-Roman. I can't even begin to describe what Greco-Roman is like. Gardner doing a good job here, but it looks like he locked his hands again. That gives Galvin a free move. And referee blew the whistle there. Gardner having trouble on top, not quite knowing what to do. Now he's going for a spiral. He's out front. That's where he doesn't want to be, and he doesn't want to get thrown like that. There's the fall. So that should do it. That's Reading's last points. They don't have a 170-pound wrestler. So I think that Arlington will simply rest here, not take the final forfeit. And the final score to this match will be 45-24. Nice win for the Ponders, and certainly something they really needed to bounce back from that weekend fair out in Marlboro. So that'll do it. There may be some JV matches coming up, but that'll do it for the varsity competition here at the pit on December 12th. And thank you all for watching. This is Sam Kafrissen signing off.